What up, Mackheads and Maniacs? We got OG Cuse in the house today. Cuse was kind of pissed, but very happy about the recent videos and commentary going on YouTube about this so-called peace treaty. And so he wanted to speak on that. I want to say, what's up, y'all? I think I'm going to go ahead and do the auction tomorrow after the football game, y'all. I expeditiously need to get that going. So Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing an auction, and if it don't go too well, I'll finish it out on Saturday. It's not a whole lot of stuff. It's actually good stuff already packaged, and then some of the stuff nobody bought. But what's up with you, cutes?
It ain't nothing. What's up, Mac kids and maniacs and all my fellow gang members? How's everybody doing tonight?
Michelle, Aunt Odom, what's up with y'all? Where everybody at? I know I missed yesterday. It was a travel day, y'all. I had to get some rest. Go ahead, Q. So, what was your thoughts on what you saw? What did you
All
see?
right.
And
First,
what
I
did
want to
you?
send my condolences to the families and for the tragedy of the school shooting that took place today. I believe it was in Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and so that was pretty. That was a tragedy. So, send my condolences to the families in that community. Well, anyway, it made me feel good
It
to
was in
see.
Georgia. Georgia, cutes.
Okay, in Georgia, all right, just it's not far, but Georgia, I'm it 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 made me feel good to see that brothers were able, to come together, you know that participated, in the gang activity, of that time, with all of the wars that was taking place, in the picking of sides and everything, and to see that large group of brothers come together like that made me feel good. It reminded me of back in the day when we would all get together and bank up to the forum, to listen to the parliament or something, or just go to the record hops, at the parks and you know, just go visit each other's parks and everything. It felt good, man, to see it. And because in the joint, we would see each other and we would see each other on the street, and and a lot happened. People lost family members, but I learned when I was in the joint, a dude told me, he said, if you seek revenge for your loved ones, you really it's really a selfish act because they're in paradise. They don't feel it. It's all about you. It's the feelings that's going on with inside the person. So and it causes a perpetuation of a cycle of revenge. It goes back and forth like the ping pong ball, and there's no there's no healing in revenge. It just makes you feel sicker. And even if you get the person that you feel so justified in getting, even those moments of that euphoria that you would feel in them moments, it's not long lived. And then the suffering starts all over again. The suffering starts for the family of the deceased. The suffering starts for your family, and you suffer because chances are you're going to get a life sentence. So the suffering is there. It's not going to be any joy. It's just going to be, your next of kin is going to be suffering. And then revenge will, keep occurring because now someone wants to take revenge on you. The old saying, the chickens have come home to roost. For for grown men who gangbang hard as we gangbang to come together and communicate with each other. I don't care if it was at a park, I don't care if it was at a church. There had to be a level of trust and a level of courage for men to say, all right, I'm just gonna, not let these barriers within my own mind. Cause see, we create barriers that kept us alive. Our instincts say, don't go to that party tonight. If we go, we're gonna go deep, you know. But those are our instincts, but somehow, the brothers manage, to say, all right, I'm down, I'm going, because that's in us to be down. That's in us. It's ingrained in our psyche, you know, and for everybody to show up because we all have lost loved ones in this war. Uh, I don't like when people say senseless violence. I don't like I don't like when people say that the program is bigger than someone else's individual choice. If one thing I could say about the Bloods and the Crips is that we the defiant ones. We don't. We could go to the pen and it could already be a program established. If if you true to your Crip and in your blood, and then you ain't going along with that program, you didn't win against the status quo many a times within your thug development, within rolling in your thug. At least I know I have, and I know a lot of you have too, because I've been in some of the places where you were. But I'm saying that to say this. Everybody ain't gonna, all the apples don't get ripe on the tree at the same time. There are people who they haven't reached that level of maturity. Those are the people we got to speak to. Our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, people within our own set could deal with that. Wherever the noise is coming from, they deal with that in the way they see fit to deal with that. No one could make a global statement and say, oh, I'm going to deal with everything like this. Nah, man. Can't nobody tamper with no one else's, house. Everybody, is the keeper of their own house. They the checks and balances of their own house. People don't understand California. They tried to mimic California sometime. They tried to, pretend, but they don't understand the politics of California. They don't understand our gang culture, you know. But the little brothers that's out there, that's young, they got to develop. They need to be talked to. They need to be encouraged. A G could talk to them. A G has the courage to step up in there, call a meeting, get a dialogue going with them. You don't got to reward them. You don't got to give them no money. You don't got to make no promises. This is not no thing like that at all, man. This is a thing of common sense, a matter of fact. Like, come on, man. The cemetery is full of us. Some of us left this world way too soon, way too soon. Didn't get a chance to develop. Didn't get a chance to make friends with a so-called enemy. You know,
Yeah.
and,
Well,
and, and that's sad.
let me explain what this was. This was a friendly, non-confrontational, non-violent conversation amongst OG Crips and a few younger Crips, probably in their early 30s to early 40s. What I would like to see is more younger brothers show up and be a part. One thing that bothered me, that had me scratching my head, a lot of the youngsters, well, not a lot, but a couple youngsters, two youngsters said they was there for the money. What money? I didn't get no money. I don't work for no grid. I don't work for no nonprofit. On top of that, the proper way to ask is to ask for a job. Your homies or some of the other people in attendance have nonprofits and they employ people that come from our type of backgrounds. Ask them politely if they have any job openings. Ask them to take your name and phone number When they have an opening or a class you would like to attend or you would like to fulfill that job opportunity, nobody's there to give away money. I don't even know how many people there actually even had any money. Like everybody there didn't dress like they had money. They didn't pull up in a car like they was wealthy. So um, you really got to get at your big homeboys from your set. Every hood has a gang intervention in Los Angeles. At least every big hood does, Blood or Crip and the Hoovers. So get at your big homies and ask, how could you get some type of employment or help feed your family, and any resources that'll keep you from going back to prison.
And
Is
something I want to say to the youngsters too is that okay, don't don't let people like okay try to use this as an opportunity to manipulate you. Like okay, for instance, okay, like Kev said, a few wanted money. All right, so point you in the direction of how you can make money. You know, in an honest way. So you can feed yourself today, you can feed your family tomorrow, and most of all, you will be out here with them. You won't be locked away somewhere in a cell, working in a PIA, working in the kitchen for pennies on a dollar. Because inside of there, you're going to get a job, you're going to work, unless you're going to beg your way out of your set. See, if you beg too much, won't nobody want to be around you anyway. So you got trade tech, you can get a marketable skill like I've gotten and acquired marketable skills. You can learn how to weld, you can learn how to do smog checks, you can learn how to become a plumber, you can learn how to sheetrock, you can learn how to do tile. There's always going to be broken cars in the world. You can learn mechanics, you can become a brake specialist, you can become a complete overhauler. You can work on motorcycles. There's a lot of programs out there that you qualify for, especially being a minority, you know. And you pick yourself up by your bootstraps. I don't give handouts, I give hand ups. And what I just gave you was a hand up. No one's scared of the youngsters. No one's scared of nobody. The youngsters need to be approached and spoken to like the men that they are. You come up without a father, you come up watching your mother get abused, you see your homeboys getting killed in the street by other kids with guns. You become numb to all of it. Start getting high a little too much. You treat the street like it's a vacation, and you treat the jailhouse like it's indefinite. So you come out here and visit for a few weeks, a few months, and then you go back inside. I used to do that, you know,
well,
and
well,
it's fun. It's all fun and games when you get that slap on the wrist sentence. But when they hit you, you know, with that L, then you're going to mature, but you're going to mature over time. If you would have stayed out here, you could mature over time too, free. All
well.
we asking you to do or requesting for you to do is just listen to your big homeboys. Listen to what they've been through. You know, listen what they trying to do. Cause everybody copies somebody else. Everybody had a role model. Everybody wanted to do it the same way someone else did it or do it a little harder. Everybody, including myself.
All right. So I was gonna say this. You say, they don't have peace on the street, then they end up in jail. Well, that's the whole key. When you end up in jail and you fighting the Mexicans, you're gonna be teamed up with your rival. So that's a truce right there. When you get to prison, you for damn sure gonna be going back to back with the rivals. So some people can yell no peace, no peace, no peace, no peace treaty. You're gonna peace at some point or die. You're gonna die or you're gonna peace. Because if you kill somebody, you're gonna go to jail, you're gonna go to prison, and you're gonna be right there with your enemies. A few people have called me from prison and asked me to convey to those in the outside world, in the so-called free world, that they are in there cutting each other's hair, playing dominoes and cards together, lifting weights together, exercising, doing laps together with the enemy. And they want you guys to know that. In some prisons, level threes and level fours, they already got the message and they with it. Now, from my understanding, a lot of dudes in the county jail not really with it, um, but some are. The thing is this: there is no peace treaty yet. There's nobody agreed that gang banging is over with. This was a conversation amongst grown men against young and old Crips, amongst young and old Crips throughout Compton and LA. Had some dudes there from Gardena, Altadena, West LA, and Inglewood too. 10 dudes Raymond's. Of course, they all Raymond. Raymond is Raymond, but um, at some point, man, whether you want peace or don't want peace, there's gonna be peace. If you, I, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I ain't calling nobody out, trying to check nobody or make nobody feel bad. But if there's no peace, what are you doing tonight? You with your kids? You with your parents? What are you doing? You in a motel? If there's no peace, you must be out there shooting like the guy that shot up the school today. You got to be putting in work if there's no peace. Then the cycle continues. You go back to jail and prison, or you tell on somebody and get out, or you get lucky and beat your case. But the bottom line here is we're just trying to conversate with the young and amongst the old and figure out how we can give each other passes. In case you go to a liquor store out of bounds, in case you're in a motel out of bounds, how do we get a pass? If your car break down in another community, how do we get a pass? How do we reciprocate those passes? If I give Cuse a pass today, how do I know Cuse going to give me a pass tomorrow? So these are the conversations that we have. And for those that are into money or think this was about money, I went out there on my own money. I went out there on my own. I'm not part of no nonprofit, no grid, none of that. I got grandkids that I'm worried about, and I know a whole bunch of reputables from a whole bunch of hoods that wanted this to happen, but didn't want to put their name and face on it. So with the help of a few people, I brought everybody together under one roof in a church in the 20s. The Bloods, neighborhood Bloods, and the Bloodstone Villains provided security for us, so we don't have to hire no outside security that doesn't come from where we come from. And that's pretty much it, man. What we wanted to come out of this is that the young and the old go back to their hood and tell everybody what this was about. Obviously, we failed. We failed because everybody seemed to skip post a video and drew their own conclusions and own narratives. And that's what Cutes was mad about when he called me. Everybody put their own spin to fit the agenda in which fits their platform. And that's all I got to say for now, Cutes.
Yeah. And all you men that showed up, that communicate with each other, man, I'm proud of all y'all. All you men who want a better day for your family, for your kids, for your community, I'm proud of y'all, you know. And it was a discussion, like grown men do, have discussions. And you guys were brave enough to show up, have the discussion, voice your opinions. One size don't fit all. And everybody's not going to agree when you get a room full of men. But one thing we should be able to agree on is that this has been going on a long time. In the cemetery, it's got too far many of our family members in it and our friends in it. And they didn't have to go that way, you know. They didn't have to go out like that, at the hands of each other. It's like self-destruction. We need to be anti-self-destruction, you know. we
Well,
we
I
already
think
brought in to self-destruction.
I get the
Well, we,
idea that a lot of youngsters felt left out. Let me explain why youngsters were left out. Number one, your OGs from your set fumbled the ball. They gave the ball away because that was part. If you've seen my video, my original video, or if you were part of that meeting, you know, and I invited you, you know that I said to bring one or two youngsters. One or two youngsters. So a lot of OGs failed from a lot of different sets. They failed because they didn't bring you. Number two, if we bought, let's say, 5 to 10 youngsters from every hood, we would have had to rent the sports arena or the forum. Who was going to rent the sports arena or the forum? Who was going to come up with that money? Who was going to put that money up? We bought waters for people. Who was going to buy waters for 10,000, 12,000 people? I'm just asking. I'm just asking a question. You know what I'm saying? So, no, it's impossible to think that. You're thinking like a little child. You're thinking like a person with an underdeveloped brain. You're not thinking rational. You're thinking and speaking with emotion. And you feel left out. You feel like that spoiled child, the youngest kid, when you don't get your way. But what is your way? Because you're sending grown folks, you're sending the public, you're sending your OGs and your homeboys a mixed message. Because you're saying fuck peace, you don't want peace. This is such and such killer for life. But then you want to be at the meeting. So which is it? Did you want to come to the meeting or not come to the meeting? Which leads to number three. Why would anybody want to bring some young hot-head shooters that's still gangbanging to a level-headed conversation? So at the end of the day, this was just the first steps in trying to rebuild the Crip community and restructure blacks living throughout South Los Angeles. And hopefully it trickles down to the rest of America. So, you know what I'm saying? So, no, youngsters, it was no slight on y'all. It was no disrespect to y'all. It was no turning our backs on y'all. None of that. We didn't have a place. We don't have a place for that many people. And you're not sure if you want a peace or you want to shoot. We don't want no shooting there. Because then you jeopardize everybody from your hood and every Crip there if you pull up shooting. And that's not what this was about. It's about level-headed, like-minded individuals from different sets, some of the largest, and most of the Crip sets in all of LA had attended. You know, a lot of people, man, a lot of people. But go ahead, Cutes.
yeah, and there's something else I want to tell the youngsters too. Never let anyone tell you that you got to quit being a blood, you got to quit being a Crip, because it's all bad. It's not all bad. That's why we having meetings, so we could dissect what is bad and push that away from us and keep what is good. Because there's good in us, and there's good in our neighborhoods. If there wasn't good in us and there wasn't good in our neighborhoods, then we wouldn't be here right now. We here because there's good in us, and there's good in our neighborhoods. There's good in our cripping. There's good in our blood. There's good in us. Don't let somebody from some other structure, that ain't got nothing to do with street gangs come and tell you, oh, come over here, be a part of this. No, we're going to remain a part of what we started. We're going to remain a part of what we came up in. But we have to be willing to do the work to dissect the bad up out of it that leaked in it. Because there used to be Crip love. There used to be love within in the group. Like my brother from Hoover said, in the collective, you know.
Well,
But a lot of things have transpired over time. Okay. We understand. You're not the only one who mourns the death of your friend. your brother, your cousin, your 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 neighbor. We are mourning too. Your mourning is no greater than our mourning. We all felt the hate. We all felt the anguish. We all felt the grief. And we all embraced a little bit of denial that we couldn't believe that it happened. So
Yeah.
you're no different than us, just younger. That's all.
And let me ask something, man. When I speak, you don't hear me popping names of who was there. I can name a whole bunch of reputables. I can name YouTubers. I can name a lot of reputables that was in attendance. I'm not doing that for a specific reason. This is not to up no one person. This is not to give glorification or promotion to any nonprofits. Um, and so, one thing that went wrong was when Skip did film that video, he got the faces and you could hear people talking. So, he got names of people that did not want their face and their name out there in the public because we have a past from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Huey Newton. What's the brother from Detroit? Uh, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, when we start trying to de-escalate violence or organize, we get infiltrated by those big guys. And so, and some people might still be on parole. You know what I mean? So people didn't want their faces and names out there. Skip was not part of the meeting, so Skip didn't know the rules. Skip could have been more careful since he has a YouTube channel, but that's what Skip does. He's into the gang intervention and prevention, Unity 2 and all that stuff, and that's his thing. But the Crips, the vast majority of Crips expressed to me that they wanted me to promise them that their identity would be hidden. And we failed. We failed because people were out there filming. Now, I did make it a point to say, if y'all want to take pictures, we can take pictures outside. Those that are willing and wanting to take pictures, y'all can take pictures outside, but no video. So a lot of he say, she say, and people stealing videos and changing narratives and adding on to what they think. Don't have no idea what was going on. Was not in the meeting, around the meeting, outside, nothing. You know what I mean? So I think at some point people need to respect LA's gang culture. Just kick back, look at it from the outside. If you wish to give an opinion, that's your prerogative. Give an opinion, give a synopsis of what you see about LA gangs. But when you start speaking on things that you have no idea about, man, you cause a lot of chaos in people's head and in the community. Phones are ringing off the hook. People being this is Wednesday, y'all, and people have been getting phone calls since Saturday. People cannot rest, and I'm one of them. People cannot rest because of all the gossip, the naysayers, people trying to figure out who are these dudes making these videos, why are they saying what they saying, what's the purpose of their agenda, are they cops, are they outside of California? People don't know, and people are wondering. So now you got some people paranoid to continue to pursue peace, but then you got others that want to try harder, and they can't wait to the next hookup to have positive, non-confrontational, non-violent conversations amongst Crips. And what Cuse was alluding to, everything comes full circle. Started off Crips, we're trying to get it back to Crips. No separation, no separation. And Q's made a good point about you can still claim your hood. Nobody said don't claim your set. Nobody said get rid of your tattoos. We had a homeboy, excuse me, I guess. We had a homeboy. Thank you. Again, I'm not gonna say no names, but we had a homeboy. He spoke. He spoke. You know, he got the hood blasted all on him and stuff. And the homeboy said, you know, I mess with everybody. So, man, I mess with dudes from Matrix Gangster. I mess with dudes from East Coast, Hoover, Grape Street, Venice Showline. I mess with everybody. He said, if I'm with you, right? He said, I'm about this blackness, but I'ma still be from 60s. And that's what Juice is saying. Nobody's telling you not to rep your hood or have pride in where you come from, not to love your homies. We asking that everybody make the city safer so your kids and your grandkids and you and your homeboys don't get killed for going in an enemy liquor store or an enemy gas station or an enemy school or your car break down. You feel me? That's all, y'all. Don't make it harder than what it is. Get out your feelings. Stop being emotional. Stop thinking it's young against old. Stop thinking the old don't embrace the young or like the young. It's not like that. We see things differently because we are older. We experience more life than a youngster has. But we were young at one time too. I think the youngsters forget that. They fail to realize we were them back in the day. 10, 20, 30 years ago, we were them. 40 years ago, we were them. So we got a lot of experience, and we're just trying to share that experience with you guys and hope you guys can live to be Q's age, AC Moses' age, Little Caesar's age, Tony Stacy's age. You know what I'm saying? We want you guys to live, man. So we really doing this for you. We ain't doing it for us. I ain't. I ain't get paid. Nobody gave me no free nothing. I didn't get no free sucker, no popsicle, no ice cream sandwich. Nobody put no gas in the car. Nobody checked to see if I was all right. Nobody checked to see if I made it home safely. Nobody waited till it was over to let me leave first. Nobody, at the end of the day, man, most people only care about themselves. And when you make it obvious, you just turn people away, man. But if you're looking for some money, just ask your older homies if they're part of a nonprofit. If they are, how can you become employed? How can you get some food on your table? Because most of nonprofits, they have resources to where they can get food. They get donations for food. They get vouchers for motels, hotels, in case you find yourself on hard times or a crisis in your family. Ask around, but don't ask for money. Don't walk up to somebody and say, hey, give me some money. That's the quickest way to turn somebody off. Have a conversation with them, a nice conversation. I put you to sleep, Cukes.
No, I was listening to what you were saying. I was trying to, you know, to have empathy for someone is to put yourself in their shoes. You know, to have sympathy for someone is to feel sorry for that person.
Yeah.
But I was trying to empathize with the youngster who asked for the money. And the only thing I can remember at that age when I would be that immature to do that, you know, I would be like, there has to be a reward in this. You know, it has to have a payback.
There has to be a
See,
service. There has to
yeah,
be a service. There has to
that's
be
a,
a pecking order. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Somebody
But
got to know.
I wanted the youngsters to understand pay value. I wanted to elaborate on that. Okay, so the concept of pay value, Trip. All right, so you go to the movie theater, you get inside of the movie theater, you smell butter popcorn. You say, damn, that popcorn smell good. I'm gonna get me some of that. You could either get it before you go into the show or you could get it, you know, at the commercial. But it's on your mind to get it. You know, that popcorn has a pay value. You know, you're in a playground at school, you hear your name, you know, it's all the noise, you know, all of that environmental noise. But you hear your name, you know, through all that shit. That has a pay value. It cuts through right to you. Right. It cuts right into you. So if you want, you know, a better day for yourself, then, you know, communicating with your G's, listening to what we're talking about, it has to have a pay value. You have to have an interest. You gotta want it. I can open the door, but you gotta get it. I can lead you to water, but you gotta drink it. You gotta have it. Has to become a pay value to you. Until then, it ain't gonna be no pay value. Being a youngster, you got a hard head. It took a lot of incarceration. It took juvenile hall 30 times. It took arrest 44 times. It took prison 32 years, 4 months. It took YA 18 months. It took camp 6 months. It took all that for me to start realizing that, wait a minute, this is not right. Why am I doing this to myself? What? In the name of what? In the name of being down? In the name of my cripping? In the name of my insanity? I don't want this for myself. So how can I want it for you? But you're in that course. You're in the course of working on your thug. You got to go through all of those doors to perfect it. And then at the end, when you get to the last door, you're going to realize a lot of this shit was a waste of time and a waste of life. So try to say things to you now that you could receive as a pay value, and you want to hear more. There's a lot of brothers that was there that it did many years with me. You should find pay value in the relationships or better relationships with them, talking to them. You see me, you talk to me. If I see you, I talk to you. But you should want to get some knowledge. And I'm talking to the youngsters, man. All of this is for you. It ain't for us. It's for you.
You know what I like, Cutes? When I talked to you yesterday, you said, "Man, I want to be there at the next one. I'm coming." And
Damn right.
we need more people to have that passion.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a pay value.
be,
What keeps me away from things is my job, my work hours. Cause see, I don't got it like that. You know, I'm poor, but I'm the working poor. I live from paycheck to paycheck, but it's
man,
okay.
what?
'Cause I don't get high.
Right,
I don't have no bad habits. You know.
man, man. I hate that a lot of this got misconstrued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I seen somebody saying that that was a grid thing and ain't gonna work. I'm not part of no grid, and here go the thing about that is there's a lot of nonprofits all over LA. They do what they do, whether it's productive or not productive. They do what they do to get paid and give jobs to their homeboys in their areas, right? Um, if there's more peace, if there's more ceasefires, it will open up a lane for these guys to get more money and employ more people. It's that simple, and it should be that plain. You get with the program, they'll find a way to get you some money, man.
I would
Again,
rather. Oh, excuse me,
listen,
kid.
I mean, at the end of the day, it really don't matter, man. If the devil is offering us a paid job, $20 an hour, take it, man. That's gonna feed your family. It's gonna pay your rent. You know what I mean? Nobody's asking you to compromise what you do. You don't have to talk to the police. You don't have to give up no information. We don't even know what the job is. Job might be cleaning up a yard. It might be moving people. It might be painting. It might be welding or carpentry, laying bricks. It could be anything. But you'll never know if you don't ask your homeboy what type of jobs do they have and what type of resources. Some of these
I want
nonprofits might have hookups with the unemployment office
to. Yeah.
or large corporations that employ felons. You won't know until you ask.
I
You know,
want. I want to tell the youngsters this too. You Everything has to start, with your training, start receiving honest day work, honest day's check, you got to get your GED. If you don't have a high school diploma, you got to get your GED. Once you get your GED, you could get your GED. Of course, you need to sit down and study, man, to get your GED. You didn't do good in school. I didn't do good in school. Some of you don't even know how to read. I didn't know how to read once upon a time. Your secrets is what's holding you back. You don't want to be exposed because you're embarrassed by certain things about yourself. You know, there's a lot of stuff that went on in your young, adolescence and prior to that, that happened to you and your family. There's a lot of things going on in you, that you need to come to terms with so you could grow and mature. You got a lot of secrets, you know. You don't trust nobody. The people you wanted to trust abused you. So you suspicious of adults. You suspicious of everybody but your friends. And sometimes your friends don't even have your best interests in mind. You're easy to be manipulated, you know. You might wake up one day after being manipulated in prison. Years go by and you realize the dude that manipulated you wasn't all that, you know. So you gotta
So,
learn, man. You start getting your GED. You got to start where you left off. If you read at a third grade level, you're going to start at the third grade level. If your math is first grade level, you're going to start with math at first grade level.
man,
But it's okay
let
to
me, let me,
start.
let me jump in real quick because betrayal can come from all different directions. But if you dropped out in sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, you betrayed yourself. So you already started off bad. You can't go blaming the big homies because they sent you on a robbery or had you selling dope for them. You already messed up when you didn't get your education that your mom and daddy wanted you to get. You don't want to stop going to school. So sometimes we have to take, you say it all the time, self accountability. If there's
Yeah.
no self accountability, you always gonna blame somebody else. So when you start talking about the OG betrayed you or misled you, that's an excuse to me. That's an excuse to me. And furthermore, you know who else gonna betray you? Your peers. That's who's gonna tell on you. Your crimey is the one that's gonna tell on you, not your OG homie. So it comes from all different directions, man. I don't like looking for an easy way out. Um, And like I'm reading some of the comments, it's just like on the telephone and YouTube and Instagram where you get about 7, 8 people that say this is good, this is good stuff, congratulations. And then you get that one person that says it's not gonna work. Police will never let you have peace. Man, keep them comments to yourself. Don't put that in the air. Let people try to work it out. Don't try to discourage people, you know? Girl dad, what's up with you tonight?
I like I like kicking it, talking to the youngsters, cause I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna peel back the onion. You know, I'm gonna use myself as a living testimony to you. I went to a special training. I went to Duke Ellington continuation. Uh, all of these things slow you up academically. You're not keeping up with your classmates. It affects your self esteem. You know what self esteem is? It's the value that you place on yourself. So you got a low self esteem. You down here with the chickens, eating on the ground, but you an ego. You're supposed to be flying high. You're not supposed to be hanging out down on the ground with the chickens. But I can help you build your self esteem back up. If you never had it, then I help you habilitate it. You didn't know it before. Rehabilitation mean you had something before and you fell off. Habilitation is you ain't never had it. You go learn it for the first time. Don't be afraid to learn it for the first time. That's why I'm telling you, you got to start somewhere. You don't want to be in a big ass classroom, get you some books, use your smartphone, let it help educate you, you know. Then you get the documentation. But no one's going to want to put you in the training program until you got your GED knocked out the way. They're going to always say, okay, you do this first, and then we'll let you go into this training program. That's just the system. That's how it works. But once you get that job and you get that, you start getting the paycheck, it's going to give you a sense of self-worth. You're going to have pride in what you do. Because see, hard as you out here gang banging, you're going to be twice that dedicated when you get a trade in a job. You're going to be the best worker they ever saw.
Man,
Because see,
my brother ain't never been on the street for more than a year in his since he was a teenager. And he ain't held down no job, obviously. Now he out here got a job. You can't stop that man from going to work. He is not taking off no days of work at all. So what you just said is an actual fact. I know some brothers and my brother, and you included, who are out here trying to work hard, just like you said, because you're working like you gangbang.
Yep. I put 100% in it. I dig a pole up out of the ground that's wrapped in concrete. I show Kev when I'm doing it. Sometimes I gotta take a sledgehammer to the concrete to break the concrete loose from the pole. I'm yanking it out of the ground because a car has bent it. It's not usable anymore. They send me out to remove it. I can't cut it out because I leave pole in the ground. I got to remove the whole pole. You know how hot it is? Tomorrow it's going to be 100 and something. But I'm out there working hard. And you know what I feel inside of myself when I'm working like that? I feel like I'm on the chain gang. I be saying, yeah, this is how those brothers felt in Angola. This is how those brothers felt when they making them roads and laying them railroad tracks. This is how the slaves must have felt when they had them out in the field picking cotton. If they could do that much labor under that much duress, then I could do this shit, like it ain't nothing. And that's what I do every day, basically. And I know you guys got it in you too to work.
Hey, another thing, man, we didn't do no drinking, no gambling, and no partying. So this is, how I feel when people say something negative about this past weekend. I feel like people don't understand that was a historical event in several fronts. One, that many Crip gangs together. And two, this wasn't no party, man. This wasn't no funeral. This many brothers, this many Crips are in one church and nobody died. No pastor speaking. That was historical, man. What went wrong in 92? There were several things that went wrong in 92, but one of them was there was no rules, there was no laws, people writing on each other's walls, people messing and disrespecting with your homegirls from other hoods. And we were partying, we smoking, we drinking, music, none of that. Ain't no music, ain't no alcohol, ain't no dice. So it was a lot more respect. And you know what else? This is going to get you youngsters. Everybody in there had been to prison. So a lot of us knew each other from prison. And that's what's going to happen to you. You don't want peace right now. You want to act up. You want to bust on people. You want to cross hoods out on the wall. You want to run up in other people's park. But when you go to prison, you're going to be with them same dudes you thought you would never want to be with.
Yes, you'll be in the same room. In the same room. Then you're going to test your thug in there. You're going to see how far you're going to take it to the limit inside of there. You're going to have that Mini 14 busting on you. You ever been busted on with the Mini 14? It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. They gonna be lighting you up. Go to San Quentin. Well, it ain't like that now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there, but they would light us up with those gauges, and I mean they unloaded. They shot over 100 and some times, with the gauges on us. Didn't want to come in off the yard. You'll learn. You're going to learn. They're going to run the program in there, but it's going to be by force. You're going to do what they tell you. You're going to go eat when they say it's time to go eat. You'll go shower when they say it's time to go shower. You're going to conform to their rules and regulations. You're not going to just be, oh, I'm not going to participate in nothing. Then you be in your cell all day. You're going to want to be out of that cell much as you can. So you're going to want to work. You're going to want to scrub the shower. You're going to want to clean the toilets. You're going to want to sweep the day room. You're going to work on the yard crew. You want to be outside. You want to sweep out there, pick up trash, dump trash cans. That's the kind of life you want for yourself for the next 40 years. See my homeboy Black Dog? See how long he did in there, Crazy Dog? See how long he did in there, that penitentiary? I don't want that for you. Nobody wants that for
Man,
you. Your mother, your brother, your cousins. Nobody
nobody,
wants that for you.
nobody should want that for themselves, man. That's a whole lifetime.
It's a whole lifetime. We're not speaking for no 1 2 hour movie, Shawshank Redemption. We're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about no old James Cagney movie, Angels with Dirty Faces. We're not talking to you from that perspective. We're talking to you from firsthand. You
Man,
it it's
let me
it's
ask
by
a
the
question.
grace of God that some of us could put a sentence together today for all the
Yeah,
trauma and
I'm having a
abuse.
hard time putting sentences together nowadays, but let me ask a question. If a
Yeah.
young brother in his early 30s, he got a son and a daughter, and he wants some money. He's a full-fledged game banger. He's a shooter. He's out there putting in work. And this guy wants some money out of from gang members who decide to show up and have a conversation. Does this what I want you guys to know? If you kill somebody, shoot somebody, or rob somebody, you're gonna get the money you're looking for. You're gonna get about 10 to 25 cents an hour in prison. Is that the type of money you really asking for? Think about that. And like OG Steve said, one of his homies came home, got a job for $24 an hour. That's happening all over LA. Dudes making $25 and $28 an hour, fresh out the prison. Never even had a job before, not even qualified. They just know how to think, and they in good shape because they was working out while they was in prison. Am I lying, Q?
No, you ain't lying, telling the truth. I got brothers that work at the oil refinery. Every lifer that I know that came home is working, and they working hard. We wish we would have, you know, got a corner of the truth before all of our, disaster, before the catastrophe, within the madness of our own storm. We wish we would have had an epiphany back then, a sudden realization that this part of our cripping wasn't necessary, you know, wasn't necessary. To be that extreme, wasn't that necessary. Feelings get hurt, got to be able to deal with it. Don't got to go all the way out. Someone hurt your feelings, all right, so what? Your feelings, you real sensitive. You don't know how to deal with your feelings. You just
Mm-hmm.
feel the anger wash you through, wash you clean. Just
Man,
feel the rage within inside yourself.
man, I think some of these nonprofits that's ran by gang members should offer classes, man, anger classes. I think some of the guys out there that want to make that transition from the streets to taking care of their family and getting a job, I think you guys should seek that type of education, man, how to control your temper. I think that'll help us as a whole. I think that'll help a lot of people as individuals. you know. But yeah, Q, so I'm gonna get out of here, man. I had fun talking to you, man.
Man, sometimes we reach the most youngsters this way. Can only reach a few in person, but this way we can reach more, which is cool. So I want you youngsters to know one thing, that you are thought of. You got to care more about yourself than the next man cares about you. And this is showing your behavior in your daily activity. And remember, if you value your freedom and you value your family, those are behaviors that you have to do to maintain that. It can't just be an idle thought. It's got to be a deterrent that'll stop you from doing things that's going to get you taken away from your family. You know, uh, all the older G's and the brothers, we're gonna have some more meetings, God willing, and have some more discussions. And there's gonna be more naysayers who take, not understanding our gang culture, and making their little statements, and all that. We don't care. We're not gonna let that get in our way. We walked the big yard in the penitentiary. We didn't drop out and we could come around each other. That's what's so cool. That's the beauty of it. Our thug kept us alive inside and we didn't drop out. Youngsters, you better respect that if you don't respect nothing else. So that's all I gotta say, man. Mac heads, maniacs, I'm out of here.
All right, Cukes. We holler again when you got time.
For sure.
All right. All right, Mac heads and maniacs. I'm gonna get up out of here as well. Tory Thompson, what's up, man? Yeah, run the replay back, man. Just trying to give some game to the youngsters, some type of understanding, give them all the respect that they deserve, that we demanded when we were their age. And it's just to help them out, man. This is all to help them and help our kids and grandkids out. Nothing more, nothing less, man. All right, Ricardo, I'm glad you got it, man. I was starting to get worried. I'm finna auction off some more tomorrow night after the football game. And if they don't go, I'll do it again Friday and Saturday if I have to. But yeah. Y'all take it easy, man. Yeah, heart definitely in the right place. It usually is. I'm usually highly misunderstood, but I'm pretty good at explaining myself in situations. And I'm pretty good at bringing people together, man. It's been a trait I've been having for a long time. So I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good one, man. If y'all didn't know, I got a new interview with Baby Gangsta on the Blue Channel. Part 1 came out today. Part 2 tomorrow, y'all. Y'all take it easy, man. Chiefs and Ravens tomorrow, y'all. I'm out.